Cooking with Amy. Let's get cooking.
Hey guys, I think we all get stuck in a recipe rut from time to time, even me, where you're making the same things over and over again. We eat a lot of chicken in our house, and anytime I serve pork, my family just goes, wow, this is so good. So this is a fun recipe, something a little bit different, and it's actually really nice and light. You can do it on the grill when the weather's nice, or you can do it in the oven. And you know, if you're craving like that Florida vacation, this is kind of like the next best thing. It's a Cuban pork roast, and it starts with a really easy, delicious marinade and some fresh garlic. So went to Festival and picked up a pork roast. You can do a rolled roast or a pork loin roast. You want a boneless pork roast. And then I take a knife and I make little slits in the roast, kind of around the roast, and I take some fresh garlic. And basically I'm going to put that in the holes, and at home you'll take the time and do this kind of all over. Basically you're going to stud the roast with fresh garlic. So in goes that garlic into the roast, which is going to give it some really great flavor. So these are just fresh garlic cloves. And you'll stud the whole roast. Now I've got some citrus. So I'm using orange juice, fresh orange juice and lime juice. And you want the juice of 3 oranges and 3 limes. And it's really, this roast is really best if you can let it marinate in the fridge overnight. So these flavors really get in there. So I'm doing it in a glass dish, but a Ziploc bag is really the best way to do it at home, so that flavor really gets in there. So 3 oranges, 3 limes. And this is just going to really give it some great flavor and make it nice and tender. And you know, pork roasts are very, very lean. The key to cooking pork, and I get questions about it all the time, and making it nice and moist, is don't overcook it. So pick up one of those instant read meat thermometers. Really key when it comes to cooking pork. The magic number you're looking for these days to pull it off the grill or out of the oven is 145. Used to be we'd cook pork forever and a day. And you don't need to do that anymore. So 145 is the internal temperature you're looking for when it comes to cooking pork. Then you pull it out of the oven or off the grill, and you want to let it rest. Tent it with foil and let it rest for a good 15 minutes before you carve it up. So marinating pork is a great way to keep it nice and tender and give it flavor. Don't overcook it and let it rest before you carve it up. So now I'm going to take some olive oil. Also, pork very, very lean, so we're going to coat it with some olive oil before we cook it or grill it. I've got some dried oregano, and then you season it very, very generously with salt and pepper, and I love to use kosher salt and fresh ground black pepper. So if I'm doing this in the oven, you preheat the oven to 350, 375, and depending on how big your roast is, it's going to take a good 45 minutes to an hour, hour and 15. Again, or longer, depending on your oven and your roast. If you're doing it on the grill, I'd start it out on direct heat just to sear it, and then turn that heat down or get it to the other side of the grill and finish cooking it on indirect heat after you've seared all sides. And again, remember to take it off the grill or take it out of the oven, tent it with foil 15 minutes before you slice it up. It is going to be the juiciest pork roast ever. So good. The first night as is, slice it up. Serve it with, potatoes or rice or vegetables. And then I love to turn the leftovers into Cuban sandwiches. Great in different, Mexican food. Great even sliced up on a salad. Just delicious. So there you go. My Cuban pork roast, something a little different for dinner tonight. You can get the recipe on our website. It's also in my latest cookbook. And you can also pick up the recipe at any area Festival Foods. Enjoy.